Hello, Ingrid.
Hello, Peter. Nice to see you here.
Nice for you taking time for this little interview or training or what we will call it for
Yes.
the Danish team.
Yes,
And,
nice to meet everybody.
Yeah, and I'm very sure they look forward to meet you at some point somewhere when it's allowed again. But I know you work with a team of power women in the Netherlands and also opening up other countries. And how long have you been working now?
In network marketing?
Yeah.
Total 23 years.
23 years. Okay.
Oh, that's a long time.
And what I really like with you is that you also walk the talk, because there is a lot of trainers that have a lot of good ideas, but they don't do it themselves, and that's not.
Oh no, I like the idea of sharing, and I think if you can, but I always say you can choose fear of shortness, or you can say no. I believe in is enough for everybody.
Yeah.
And I think
so,
if you all can do that, then there is enough for everybody.
Yeah, for sure. So since I know you can go in, you can do one-day training on each small subjects that we could dig into here, and we don't want to confuse the viewer for a lot of other questions, what you do and what you don't do. I know you work a little bit more of harvesting the good quality contacts and then maybe talk with a little fewer people. And so we actually, just before we started recording, talking about maybe we should just focus on the biggest kingpin of them all, and that is the invitation. Because if we do a good invitation, then we also have somebody who wants to meet us, and then we have actually a very huge chance with everything we have to get a new customer or partner or what it is that we're working on. So I will let the word to you. That what do you teach that is a little bit different than the traditional way of thinking?
Yeah, that's a nice question, because what I know now from experience is that if you look to network marketing as a profession, for me it's a profession, and a profession you can be taught. Then the invitation skills is, in my opinion, the most important skill networkers needs to be taught. But we also can see that is also a skill a lot of people can't taught, because they don't handle that themselves. So what is then the normal way of how people start working in network marketing? Make a contact list. You have here a script, pick up the phone and just start calling. It's a numbers game. That's what a lot of people think. And I think the numbers will point out that a lot of people then don't get that invitations into appointments, then get frustrated and think this is not for me. I always explain that with how did you learn to drive a car? There is not a driver who's saying, here are the keys and this is the car, just step in and do your thing. We train them how to drive the car so they get a driver's license. So for me, that's what I changed in working with people in network marketing. And then if you go into the invitation skills, it's important to think about, why should a person want to listen to you? And so normally you are enthusiastic, so starting talking to people, and then mainly it's going from the I part. I just started a new business, I'm really enthusiastic about it, and I do work with a good products, and maybe it's also something for you. But if you think about it, if you don't know if the person you're gonna invite wants to listen to you, then there is a big percentage people say no to you because you did not invite them on the proper time, your words were not the proper words. There is also always a reason people say no to you. So what I changed is find the reason in a person why he or she should listen to you. And how we do that is finding out what the motive is from a person. So if you are getting a pro in finding motives with each person, then your invitation will be, now I think 90% yes. So instead of making the contact list and start phoning top till bottom and invite people random, what is better to train people to find motives of the people and then think about if you want to invite them. So what I do with people is I train them that technique, how you can do that. So making the contact list for me is not making the list only to make invitations and then hope people say yes. For me, the contact list is train your mind, not have judgments about people on the list, and just find out why you should invite those people. And if you think about how normal conversations goes, and I think it's in your country exactly the same, how are you doing? How is your partner doing? How are your children doing? And the next thing is, how is your work going? Do you have a nice job? What is going on your job? And then the next thing is, what are you doing in the weekend? What are you doing in your free time? I call that chit chat meetings. And normally people don't listen what they are told then. They don't listen to that. How are you doing? Oh, great. Okay, great. But what will happen if a person is saying, how are you doing? And then that person is saying, with me, it's going okay. With my partner, it's a little less okay because she or he just lost her job. From that moment, then there is a motive. And that motive can be, okay, they need another way of income. So what will happen if you listen to the motives and then let that people finish the conversation and not even maybe invite on the same moment, but maybe 1 or 2 days later. Hey, listen, you told me that in the conversation we had 2 days ago. What if I maybe have a solution for that, what you told me? Is it okay to talk about that? So do you understand the other way of approaching people? Put them on the table because you have a solution for a motive, a problem which came up in person's lives. And if you are a pro in that, you can invite everybody.
So you're looking for a need before you do the actual invitation.
Yes, and if you then know the needs are always with people, everybody has them. Not only in the money part, sometimes in the health part, but even sometimes in the free time part. So if you know the needs and then you find the solution and combine that to the needs, then you will have yes. So then you have 10 people, 8 appointments, instead of hoping that a person will say yes to you. And if then people make the contact list 100, that's how they call it, 100 plus contact list, start phoning from bottom till top, how many yeses do you normally get?
Yeah, I mean the way I do it is that I don't even tell about a business before I have actually a meeting. So actually following the express start where I book the meeting before I say, by the way, I want to spend half an hour discuss a business. I don't know if something we can do together, but I want to go through it and then we can take it from there and look forward to see you. But I really like the part finding a need also and combining that into the invitation.
Yes, and a lot of networkers, they think they have to do it quickly. I started a business, so now I have to invite everybody who is in my 1 meter space. Okay, in this time it's a little bit difficult to do that, but you understand what I mean. Everybody in my 1 meter space. Oh yeah, I need to invite you now. What will happen if we get in a little bit more calm way? Because if you look about it, in the first weeks, months, every person starting with whatever network marketing company, in this case Encino, can start with 4, 5, 6 partners. That's enough to start with. So think about it. If you can choose which person you want to start with, then you will look on a totally other level to persons before you want as a lion to invite them because you think, I need to do it now, quick. So step back, take a little bit more time to think about how to invite and then make the proper invitations. And then there are 10, 12 techniques how to do that. So if you can train people how to do that, they will make more appointments.
Yeah, exciting. So what is the ratio? You have a ratio of the the team you works with, how many do they present to, and how many end up as a partner or a customer?
That's a track and trace question, also important.
Yeah.
I think if I do the track and trace in this team I'm working with now, then from the invitations into an appointment, and not every invitation I know of, but what I know of, the percentage, we will be, I think, around about 70–80%. So that's really high. And
that's extremely high.
That's really high. And that's how I train. So then we have less invitations, less frustration.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So if you want to put it this way, I step on the brake. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
I set everybody on the brake. Calm down.
Yeah.
Just need to learn the technique before we start the process. And that is not weeks or months. That can be sometimes days or 2 weeks. If a person is understanding that, he will step on the brake, because then he's calming down and the fear is going away. Because a lot of starting networkers are afraid of invitations.
Yeah.
Oh, and if I look back to that in my own 23 years when I first started, I didn't want to even make the contact list, because my head was saying, no, if I do that, the next thing they wanted me to do is start phoning. And I was afraid of the phone.
Yeah.
So I did not make the proper list, because my head was saying, every person who I put on the list, I need to phone. If I don't put them on the list, I don't need to phone. So a lot of starting networkers are sponsoring down instead of sponsoring up. So we need to get them out of the fear, into the trust, into the techniques, so they know what they do will also work. So I choose to take time for that. And then if we start the process, the percentage will be high. And a lot of people saying to me, that is time wasting. You waste a lot of time. And I say, no, I create more time because I put on the brake.
Yeah.
But that's how I look to this business, and what in my experience with a lot of networkers I trained and worked with, is everything the same, every time the same thing, out of the fear into the trust. So percentage wise, if we do the meetings, so if we go into really the one-to-one meetings, our percentage is the same.
Yeah.
And if we go in the follow-up meetings, it is even a little bit higher, because if a person chooses to do the follow-up meeting, in his head, normally he chooses to start.
Yeah.
So what is the secret for me of building a stable network marketing business on a proper way, which will not collapse every time, is investing in the beginning to invite on the right way from out the right need to do the right one-to-one and follow that up. And then you have a stable business, and then you can duplicate, because duplication, that's the key word.
Yeah.
So what we duplicate? Invitations.
Yeah, we have so many people in Denmark who is extremely good at customers, and I know 80% of those who are extremely good with customers, they really want to convert to also be a good recruiter. But of course, now they're very good at one thing, and as a baby start on the other one. And that's of course a challenge, because you always choose the one you feel comfortable and you're strong in. But with the campaign we just launched now, where you can get money back and an extra kit for free, I mean, it really motivates a lot of the people that now we have the tool to get out of our comfort zone. So
but are you agreeing with me, Peter, that if you have the tool, does not necessarily mean you also have the technique? So having the tool,
totally agree. Yeah,
having the tool can be the motivator. Oh yes, let's do this. But then still needs to be taught how to do it.
Yeah.
And for me, and that was what I experienced a long time ago in my first businesses, that I thought, okay, I have a method. I created my method. Why is it not working for everybody?
Yeah.
And that, I don't know how you feel, but for me it was very frustrated. If you see the skills in a person, if you see that everything what is being needed to be successful in network marketing is there, but you can't get it into the success that person wants or needs or dreams of. How is that possible? And that is where my searching was started. What do we need? What do we really need to get successful in network marketing? And that's how this way of working, each step in the way getting more form. Do you understand what I'm saying? Then you work with it, and then if you work with it, you see what's happening, and then you can make it even better. And now 23 years later in time, I know exactly how to do that with each person. So I dare to say that you can train everybody into the invitation part. The first person will do it quick because he's learning quick, and the other needs more time. But that does not mean he can't learn.
No.
And if we
so what do you do physically? Do you invite together with them, or do you let them test a little bit themselves and then come back and do some coachings?
Yes, what I train them the technique, and it's starting with making contact list, because how I create the list is totally different than what a lot of people do. Make 100 plus list and start phoning top till bottom. I don't do that, because when people make the list, like I told just before how I did that, hey, listen, I don't put that person on paper, because the next thing I have to do is phone that person. I don't dare that, so I don't put it on paper. So what we need to do is get people into the trust part, that they can put everybody on the paper, that they are not getting to get the homework phoning everybody if they don't know how to do that. So I start with trusting that every person is on that list is not necessarily be phoned. And then a lot of people will be put more people on the list. And then I make the whole list get into separate lists. Because I know that a lot of network trainers are saying, go to your friends and your neighbors and everybody you know well and explain what you are doing. And I'm saying, don't do that. Put those group of people on a list and wait a little bit longer before you do that. Because how many networkers are really happy in starting and frustrated 2 weeks later because the whole family is saying, are you stupid? What are you doing? This is illegal, etc., etc., etc. And that's a normal reaction of a person who wants to take care of you, because he really thinks that you are doing something stupid. And if you find out how that went, then it always is there because the invitation or the explanation is not on the proper right way. So we can train also in that. So I always say to people, okay, which people do you love the most? Put them on a special list. And maybe they are okay for, in this case, for the balance test and the product, but please don't invite them yet before you know how to do that. And then a lot of people are really, oh, I don't have to go to friends. No, not yet. Maybe a little bit later in time. And then there is trust. So if then the contact list is on the right way, then I train them the technique, how to find the motives. And I let them train that. How do you find the motive with the person? So think about it. If that is something you really can do, then you can invite the whole world. Because everybody has motives. So I train them that, and then everybody has also a top list. Everybody has contacts. They think, oh, I really want to work with this person in my business. How do I invite that person? We trained it, and then we go into the top list, and then I help them how to invite the top list. But I don't do it for them. They are trained how to do that, and the appointments which are coming out of that list we do together.
Exciting.
And if you do that on the right method, you can work with a lot of people at the same time. And then you get the duplication part. And which I found out now in this group also, again, is when the fear is going away and the trust is there, then you get into momentum. And then everybody has results and success. And maybe it's not the quickest way of doing it, but it's for sure a stable way.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of stable ways of building businesses. I've seen so many people, colleagues, building something up, and then it's gone overnight, half a year later or 1 year later. So it's yeah, it can be crappy out there. There is so many not very serious. So I don't think they're not serious. I just think they don't know how to do it. Actually,
And
they
that's
don't
it.
have
How?
they don't have the leadership, the understanding about
But
building
can
a
you
skill.
also agree with me then that the only reason how you can train a person how to do it if you are be taught yourself how to do it?
Exactly.
And I think that's key.
That's, I mean, I wasted 4.5 years in another company where it was the blind leading the blind, and I was one of them. So, and then I at that point I was clever enough. I was clever enough to look for the people who was clever, which was Ørn and Hilde.
Yes.
And they have been amazing guides for me and my business for 15 years. So I mean, it's also about connecting with, but the first time you meet the profession, you have no idea who is good and who is not. And that's why many times the first time you meet somebody, then you should be extremely lucky to actually connect with some people who know how to build the business. But I believe we have a very strong culture in our business that we can be proud about, and that people who are willing to work and upgrade, they actually have a extremely good chance to succeed and build some sustainable with customers, which most companies forget to build.
Perfect. That's perfect true. And I think maybe it's not even also for forgetting, but I really think that a lot of people don't know how to do it, and then getting frustrated. And that's what I find very pity, that network marketing as a profession then gets a really negative name.
Yeah.
But if you look to it on the right way, and you look to it as a profession, it can be a big help for a lot of people. So if we invest in helping and training, and even now in this period which we are living around the world, how many people need help?
Yeah. So what is your take on when you start a new partner? How much should they? Is it 50-50 on customers and partners, or what is your take on that?
I think everything needs to be in balance. So customers and partners needs to be in balance. If you have the boat and you're not balanced, you are circling. But where do you focus on building your business? I think that's the question. And the route I choose is that every person I talk to, does not matter about what, is always the whole picture. So in this case, if I tell a person about Cincino, then I tell the whole picture. So also the business part, also the product part, and then people can decide themselves which part they like. And you and I also know that not everybody wants to work with a network marketing company. But if they say no to the business, a lot of people say yes to the products. So if you choose one part, you walk, and I choose for tell everybody everything, then you will find out that a lot of people are not willing to work the business, but then they will be the customer. So for me, it's not necessary to think about, oh, that person should be a customer, oh, that person should be a partner. No, if the invitation is from the need, then the person which you talk with will decide him or herself. And then you will find out you will be in balance.
Yeah, it's
also, I think
you run with the business basically, and then if they are not business minded, then a lot of those people become customers.
No, I think I run with the opportunity. And the opportunity can also be for that person the product, because let's face it, you also can be product-wise business. So I run, my way of working is from the need. I bring the solution in the whole picture. Then the person can decide him or herself which solution is for her or him the best solution. And in that choice, I will give training to bring them to their goal.
I like that, Inger.
Thank you.
Very, very good insights. I really like it. So thank you very much, and
Thank you.
I can't wait till it's more normal to visit you guys again and see you around in
Yeah.
events. So, but thanks a lot.
Thank you for
And
inviting me.
have a wonderful day. I know you have a lot of meetings. Take care.
Yes,
Thank
I
you.
will do that. Bye bye.
Bye bye.